It was the weirdest union in NBA history. LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. Kobe Bryant and LeBron James fans. Laker Nation and James fans. But that's what happened on July 2nd, 2018, the day James signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. Laker Nation had mixed feelings about the signing. While half of the fan base celebrated upon hearing the news, the other half of it, most especially Bryant's fan base, didn't accept it well. They are used to Bryant's all-business attitude on the court. They are not used to all the drama that comes along when LeBron James is on your team. They do not want the bad body language on the court, the walking outs in the middle of the game, the fit-in or fit-out tweets directed at a teammate, and the sending of subtle messages or jabs at the GM. It was unthinkable. It was a detonation waiting to happen. It was an awkward union from the beginning. For James, moving to LA as the last stopover of his career was a no-brainer. After leading the Cleveland Cavaliers to its first ever championship in 2016, LeBron no longer needed to stay in Cleveland. His public image was restored from the fallout of the decision. His next goal is to position himself perfectly to continue to grow his brand and business empire beyond his playing years, and what better place to do that than the entertainment capital of the world. Meanwhile, for Lakers management, it made sense to sign James even at the late age of 34. It's what they do. From George Mikan, Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Magic Johnson to Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, the Lakers are never short of legendary names. Adding LeBron James to that list just makes perfect sense. Or so they thought. They forgot to include Klutch Sports into the equation, and their unending thirst to be in control of every LeBron James team. From the moment James wore his Laker uniform, accommodations were made for him and Klutch by the organization. James and Maverick Carter suddenly had a say on the overall makeup of the Lakers and how the team should be built. Rich Paul was able to put his Klutch clients to the Lakers roster year after year and were signed to multi-million contracts, even though the majority of them never really made an impact on the team. Randy Mims, the fourth member of the infamous quartet, who had a made-up position previously with the Cleveland Cavaliers, has the same position once again with the Lakers. And most recently, James' son, Bronny James, was drafted using the team's 55th overall pick in this year's NBA draft, even though it is very clear that he is not NBA ready yet, as evidenced by his early play in this year's preseason. Fans and critics alike argued that this was a terrible move by the Lakers, as they picked someone who obviously was not ready for NBA-level play and was only done by the organization to appease his father. The team could have used that pick on a player that can contribute to the team immediately. When James signed in 2018, there was an initial thought that James would be willing to take the Lakers' young nucleus of Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, and Ivica Zubac under his wings and let them grow and mature while competing at the same time. But that wasn't the case. James and his Klutch crew brought his so-called tried and tested formula of getting another superstar or superstars on his team to compete for a championship. In short, making his version of a super team in Los Angeles. The way he did in Miami with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And in Cleveland with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. In LA, he has Anthony Davis and later on brought in another MVP caliber type of player in Russell Westbrook. And just like any multiple superstar signings or trades, a team that signed them will be hideously gutted in personnel or future draft capital. By trading for Davis in 2019 and Westbrook in 2021, the Lakers sacrificed young players with huge upside and practically their future. Brandon Ingram is only 27 years old and is averaging 20 to 25 points per game for the New Orleans Pelicans. Josh Hart is now a franchise foundation for a young New York Knicks team that is looking like a consistent playoff contender for years to come. Kyle Kuzma is still 29 years old and is averaging 17 points per game in Washington and was a huge contributor on the 2020 Finals team. 27-year-old Ivica Zubac recently signed a 3-year, $58 million contract extension by becoming a dependable scorer, defender, and rebounder for the LA Clippers. Alex Caruso, a scrappy guard of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who can score and defend well in the perimeter and who can be an X-factor on any team, was let go for tax savings purposes. It is safe to say that had James waited just a little bit and let these players mature and become the players that they are today, the Lakers would have been a consistent playoffs and finals contender. And at the same time, having the young core that they needed to bridge the gap between the now and the future. But he didn't. Not only did the Lakers lose all these young cornerstones, but they also have nothing to supplement them in the future. Because of the Davis and Westbrook trades, the Lakers have given up most of their first-round picks in recent years. The nearest that the Lakers can regain full control of their draft pick starts in 2026, 2027, 2028, and 2029, the years when James was probably in the midst of enjoying his first years in retirement. There's a reason why first-round draft picks are so valuable. It's because weird things always happen in the NBA draft lottery. Despite having the lowest odds, the Orlando Magic won the top overall pick of the 1993 NBA draft with only a 1.52% chance of winning. They then used it to select Chris Webber and later on traded him for Anthony Penny Hardaway to form one of the 1990s emerging dynasties together with Shaquille O'Neal. In 2008, the Chicago Bulls had a 1.7% chance of winning the lottery but ended up drafting Derrick Rose as their number 1 pick in the 2008 draft. The Atlanta Hawks had only a 3% chance of winning the 2024 lottery, but they jumped from the number 10 position to the top overall selection. The point is, you'll never know where those ping-pong balls might go, and a team might be a pick away from acquiring a generational type of player. No one can argue that a team needs to be all in and try everything to win now when you acquire a superstar like LeBron James. In fact, it should be their only move. But with the Lakers' case, they got LeBron at age 34, the age when superstars usually start to show signs of decline. Decline that the stat sheet can never see. The bad body language. The pouting. The slow reactions on defense. The blaming game. Yes, he's still putting up excellent numbers at his current age of 39, but he's also 46th on defensive wins share and 37th on defensive box plus minus. This is the very reason why critics accused him of stat padding while not paying attention to defense and winning anymore. James wasn't the same player from years back who was very good at both ends of the floor. He wasn't the same young player who led the Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers to 8 straight finals appearances that resulted with those teams winning a combined 3 championships out of 8 tries, and the very reason why those teams were willing to sacrifice future assets in exchange for winning immediately. What the Lakers got was a player who was entering the twilight of his career and was already satisfied with what he accomplished and was just coasting on this stage of his career. The dilemma for the Lakers is while they continue to pile up losing seasons after losing seasons, they cannot also map out their future once LeBron retires because they are handicapped by salary cap restraints and have no young players to build the team around. Ever since James got there, the Lakers had only one winning season, which is the bubble season. From 2019 to 2024, they either lost or were swept in the earlier rounds of the playoffs or didn't even qualify at all with James at the helm. And just by looking at the amount of upside, youth, talents, and draft capital that the Lakers wasted and the yearly ridicule they got because of consistent losing, it completely justified what the majority of Laker fans felt about LeBron James signing with their team. Now you couple these with James' incessant demand to every team that he's been on to get everything for the sake of winning now, and you've got yourself the perfect recipe for disaster. When James left the Heat and the Cavs, he left a huge void, especially during the aftermath of his leaving. But they managed to come back in a very strong way in a short period of time. Sure, they drifted away from contention for a little while, but they were able to build up their teams in a short amount of time by having the very thing that is essential in rebuilding and getting out of oblivion: having draft picks and young players. Both teams managed to trade for Jimmy Butler and Donovan Mitchell because of their draft assets and cap flexibility. Bam Adebayo and Darius Garland became all-stars, and both signed massive maximum designated rookie extensions the moment they were eligible. Tyler Hero became 6th Man of the Year and has signed his own multi-million-dollar rookie extension. Miami made the NBA Finals in 2020 and 2023 and was a consistent playoffs and finals threat, while the Cavs made back-to-back playoff appearances in 2023 and 2024. On the contrary, the Lakers will have no young core to pick up the mantle once James retires. They can never trust AD to lead the way given his injury history and lack of durability. Was it worth it for the Lakers to lose everything they've lost in exchange for a lone championship that most people didn't even recognize? That's why LA's front office shouldn't have allowed James and company leverage them the way they leveraged the Cavaliers. But they did. Lakers management should have learned from the experience of the Cavs and not let LeBron and Klutch Sports run the entire organization. They should have demanded a bigger return while giving those accommodations. James didn't foresee the expectations, pressure, and burden of becoming a Los Angeles Laker. He and his team probably thought they could just walk right into the golden doors of Laker Kingdom and act as if he's the franchise's long-sought savior. It will never be the case. The Lakers are the third most valuable team in the NBA. They are the Lakers. They are second behind the Celtics for the most won championships in league history. Yes, they won the 2020 championship the first year that James and Davis were together. But that championship was the most discredited championship win in league history, as it was won in a bizarre circumstance wherein there was no crowd in the arena and no home court advantage due to the coronavirus pandemic. Bottom line, the Lakers made a mistake. They should not have acquiesced to every James' whims and demands. Not this time. Not at this age. The cold hard truth, whichever way you want to look at it, is that the Lakers' future is bleak unless team owner Jeannie Buss does something about it. Or else, her team will suffer years in mediocrity with no clear future ahead of it once James' run comes to an end. Lakers management was hoping that James would be able to continue the winning tradition of the organization when he got there in 2018. Instead, the Lakers were relegated from being a team that was not hanging conference championship banners except for league championships, to a team that was already overjoyed to raise an in-season tournament banner at the rafters.
How much do you celebrate winning the in-season tournament if you're the Lakers?
Dan, are you serious right now? Are you serious right now?
They're going to raise a banner, Charles.
Are you serious right now? You know, it was a resounding success.
Yeah.
Everybody's really happy with the in-season tournament, but we're not raising banners. We're not doing parades.
They were doing champagne with goggles, Charles.
You know, I'm so glad that I wasn't watching. I'm so glad that I wasn't watching Saturday night. If I saw them doing champagne for the in-season tournament, like I say, it was a resounding success. But if you don't do champagne for the in-season tournament, I'm glad I did not see that. But the in-season tournament, the Lakers better not put up an in-season.
I think they are.
Listen, man, if they do that, I'm gonna roast their on TV. You know we're gonna have to talk about it. If they put that in-season tournament banner up, Dan, I'm gonna roast them on television.
How about Jerry West? The logo.
Gosh,
The logo.
Kareem. How about Gail Goodrich? Look him up.
Look them up.
Happy Hurston. Jimmy McMillan. All right. Paul Gasol. God rest his soul. Kobe. We are gonna drink champagne after we win a regular season tournament. First inaugural in the locker room. And then to top it off, they got 18, 19 banners. How many championships? 17. And they're drinking champagne. And then they're going to raise a banner to the rafters in LA for winning this inaugural tournament. Banners are for championships and retired numbers. They're not for a 4-game series in the middle of November. And I'm not knocking the inaugural tournament. The Silver did a great job with it. I'm not knocking it. But you got to have a little perspective here. That's the Lakers are the lands of West and Banner and Wilt and Kareem and Jamal Wills. And how about Pat Riley? Think Riley liked to see that when he was in Miami, watching them freaking put the banner up? Pat must have thrown up when he saw that. How about Magic Johnson? You think Magic liked that? How about Worthy? That is a disgrace.
Dog is on one.
Look at this.
He's on one.
And you tore with the banner from the inaugural Challenge Cup? God help me, please.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.